All right, I feel like a lot of us are pretty excited of the new Marvel Tag Fighter. I was unexpected. We're gonna do a breakdown video because I definitely saw a box dash earlier, and they were just team attacks, which is pretty cool. 4v4 is insane, but y'all don't want to hear me talk. Let's get into it. And I will say that there is a blog post that there are motion inputs. What kind of motion inputs? I don't know how many, but they exist. Let's get into it. This is very hype. Can't believe it. I'm back again. This City of the Wolves 2x KO. Hopefully Capcom gets their shit together and makes a Capcom fighter with Capcom All Stars. This is the game looks very pretty. My biggest concern is Arxis, right? But we'll see. All right, so off rip, right? Besides the regular specials and attacks, Iron Man does a box dash. That's sick. So there's air dashing in the game. Super dope. There better be, especially for a game like this. Anti-air launcher, good. That is one game the old Marvel vs. Capcom game didn't have, was like an anti-air launcher. Super duper jump. I don't think this is a combo here. Or maybe it does cause a ground bounce. It probably does, because it's a weird cut, but it wouldn't make sense if it didn't cause a ground bounce. And then you get a tag here. Not the biggest fan of tagging like that. Handshake tag, whatever you want to call it. I would much prefer a traditional assist call, but whatever. That's just the climate. That might have been a wall break, and I think there was a wall break earlier, and I hate that there's wall breaks. Did she dodge that? Okay, so she has a dodge. I don't know what Marvel characters this is, but that's pretty cool. Okay, alpha counter, of course. Every Marvel game has had an alpha counter. That's super sick. It's called crossover, though. You're not gonna call it alpha counter because Marvel's Capcom. Dooms was a teleport. Oh. You cross over, and he probably did the not plasma beam. I forget what it's called. Anyways, he probably did this beam input and then tag, right? Yeah. Okay, so you did the beam input tag. You convert off of it. Regular normals are jump cancelable? Question mark? Or was that a small launcher? It was either a small launcher or normals that hit an airborne opponent are jump cancelable. That's something that 2X also does. Okay, Spider-Man has a counter. That makes 100% sense. Dude, I really hope this is optional on your ender and not a like you have to do it type of thing. Because look at the move Spider-Man uses, right? I really hope this is just optional. Because I should not have to give up the corner in a tag fighter. Okay, a command grab, perhaps hit grab. A 6 super. A leap over, that's pretty sick. Star-Lord has a nice little leap. True to the character, right? You leap, call your assist, get a left-right 50-50. He has restands. Oh, bro. Forced restands into 50-50s? Oh, day one main. Was that like a guard cancel, maybe? Oh, he did Spidey. He could Spidey sense beams? Wait, hold up. Spider-Man might be the sickest character in the game. And then into tag, into cat. And to handshake. Ghost Rider looks sick, by the way. Again, I really hope that's an option. Star-Lord has an air dash. Gets blown up for it. Makes sense. Ghost Rider's pretty sick. Yeah, maybe. That's crazy. It's like Dragon Ball. You call multiple assists at once, right? I wonder if your assists are on a rotation. I would imagine if you have 3 assists, maybe the way they circumvent having 10 buttons is they're just on a rotation. Kind of like the Ginyu Force in Dragon Ball Fighters. I think, because I haven't seen them consecutively call the same assist twice. It's probably like you call this assist and then this assist and this assist, which could be the case. Or maybe it could be you hold back, down, or forward. Or maybe it could be, and there's a dev blog going to read after this, so maybe that will have more information. Maybe it's like assist button plus light, assist button plus heavy, assist button plus medium. You know, there's a lot of ways that they could make 3 assists work without polluting the controller scheme, you know. There's a lot of ways they could do it, and I think the easiest one would be level strength of attack plus assist button. I instead of directions, either 3 assist buttons and then 3 attack buttons, and there's motion inputs, so they can make that work. Or 1 assist button and you hit a different, you know, light, medium, or heavy plus assist. I don't think you should do directions. Directions would just make it 10 times harder. Like, that hit grab is sick. This is dope. That might just be his dash, which will actually be fucked up. I think that's just his dash. And if you just get a natty left right off of a dash, that's very evil. Nothing personal, kid. That's sick. Dude, I think that's just a natty left right. Look. Oh, your box. Dude, that is so low. He probably, dude, that's such a low air dash. Oh, there better not be a block button. I will scream if there's a block button, dude. I will scream if there's a block button. And then the air teching, very good. It's not like Strive where you just fall to the ground. I'm so glad there's air teching in this game, because then you get a tech trap. Look at that throw, man. Half the budget went into this throw. Dude, that move is nuts. He has the Hammer of Dawn. Storm, tag, yeah. Ebony Queen. That's pretty sick. And she still has like the not necessarily gravity manipulation from Marvel 3, but she can influence you, you know. This game is gonna be so chaotic. Like, look how many characters are on this screen. There's 6 characters on the screen right now. Now there's 7 characters. Oh my god, look at that Storm idle stance. Wait, hold on. Zoom in on that Chrome. Zoom in on that Storm stance. Thank you. Oh man. Maybe assist will be like on a resource management besides just like a regular cooldown, you know? Maybe you have to get hits to get them back, or you have to interact and move forward. That is sick, by the way. The fact that they're finally doing like team moves together is dope. I think MvC with Captain America and Bucky was the only instance I've seen this in. Maybe Tekken did it? I'm not sure. So yeah, it definitely looks like light, medium, heavy, launcher. You know, you can box dash, right? Or air dash in the air, if you don't know what I mean by box dash. And then you tag into like whatever move. I'm excited, but I'm also holding my breath because it is an Arxis tag fighter. But they're not going to be well, maybe not restricted as much. I don't like this. This is what I don't like. I don't like the wall break. Going back to neutral is, in my opinion, lame. If I put you in the corner, I earned it. I do think that there will be a lot of character and combo variety. It'll be like Marvel, where if you think about something in training mode, it'll probably work more than likely, or you could find a way to make it work due to how much freedom you should have with 4 characters. the behind the scenes. Let me see this. This is what I wanna look at. So Marvel Takon, I probably mispronounced that. I'm so sorry. Fighting Souls launches 2026, PS5, Steam, and Epic. PlayStation Studios, Arc System Works, and Marvel Games have joined forces to realize the latest in tag team fighters. Marvel Takon, again, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Fighting Souls experienced the Marvel Universe like never before with reimagined characters and stages, a heart-pounding soundtrack, intuitive gameplay mechanics, and jaw-dropping visuals that will keep you on edge of your seat. Whether this is your first fighting game or you are a veteran of the genre, Arc has incorporated gameplay controls and mechanics that are easy to pick up and play, yet still offer the depth and versatility for high-level competition. From the beginning, we aim to make Marvel Fighting Souls a title that could be enjoyed by a wide variety of players, explains game director and lead battle designer Kazuto Sekain. Forgive me. Generally, a team versus fighting game requires the player to learn multiple characters, but for Marvel Fighting Souls, you only need to master one character in order to play the game. We have designed the mechanics in such a way that you can perform a variety of actions either with either traditional fighting game inputs or simple inputs. Oh, dude. Thank you. I just hope there's a downside to the simple inputs. Anyways. With the press of a few buttons, multiple characters can appear on screen to provide backup or attack together, creating a new and exciting team versus battle experience. Since day one, our longtime and trusted collaborators at PlayStation and the team at Arc System Works have poured incredible amounts of talent and passion into reimagining the Marvel Universe in a way that only they can, said Michael Francisco, a name I can say. Senior Product Development Manager Marvel Games, Marvel Fighting Souls demonstrates that they are absolute masters of their craft and are true Marvel fans at heart. Players are in for a wild ride. Oh, they're gonna take us for a ride? I get it. I understand the reference. Okay, so this is just the characters, right? So Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doom, Storm, Miss Marvel, Star-Lord, and Ghost Rider. That was Miss Marvel? Oh, well, I don't know too much about the comic lore. Your surprises, only room for characters who have never been playable in a fighting game before. Early on in the project, we experimented with the shader to recreate a more Western comic book visual style, but the Marvel team expressed desire for us to lean into something more Arc-like. It was then that we switched our approach to the game's visuals and began to lean into a more Japanese style Arc is known for. I mean, I think it's still pretty comic booky, you know? I definitely, I wish you could like click these, but I definitely think, wow. I definitely think it's still pretty comic booky. That's pretty much it, huh? The biggest takeaway here, though, is traditional fighting game inputs. And let me explain to you real quick why that's so important. So, with a game with 3 assists, right? And I can use 2xKO as a perfect comparison for this, or just like the example. So 2xKO has 1 assist, right? But it has 2 special buttons. So it's a light, medium, heavy. Okay, so let me visualize this for you. Light, medium, heavy, special 1, special 2, and your assist button. Okay, they could have cleared up the clutter if they kept motion inputs in, right? So it would have just been light, medium, heavy, motion inputs, and then you could have found a schematic for 1 button specials, right? You could have found it. I'm sure they found one. Other games have shown it, right? You know, Street Fighter with modern. It's out there. The blueprint is out there, which they could have adopted, but they chose to go 1 button specials, okay, which is fine. But the big problem they had is the assist, right? You would hold back or forward for an assist, okay? And then your launcher was like down, forward and assist? I don't remember. It was pretty, the point is it was pretty confusing, right? And that confusion could have been minimalized by having motion inputs, okay? And then you could have had 2 separate buttons for your 2 different assists. And then you could have had a tag launcher button, right? You would have had 6 buttons that were all independent and all did something different, special, and unique, as opposed to cluttering 1 button input, right? Like, let's say this is your tag button, okay? But it's also your assist button. So it's like back, forward, and then down, all do different things with this 1 button for your assist call, which you can easily mess up. So that's why I'm glad that they said there's traditional inputs, because it frees up the clutter. You know, like Net Impact has 7 buttons, which is insane. There's a lot of clutter for the control scheme in that game because they don't have motion inputs. So that's my big takeaway. That's why I'm sorry I talked your ear off and spent a lot of time on this, but that's why it's very important that they have traditional fighting game inputs or simple inputs. I'm looking forward to it. I really, really hope that they've seen what these other tech fighters have done, and clearly they learned like, oh hey, 2xko got a lot of backlash for simple inputs, and then Impact got a lot of backlash for simple inputs. We tried Nen Impact, we tried 2xko, it felt very cluttered for our players and confusing, so that's why we're doing both options. Oh, could you not hear me? Do I have to repeat that entire part again? Well, I'll repeat it again just so Chrome can work on it. There has to be a downside to the simple inputs. Yeah, I already mentioned that earlier. But anyways, like I was saying, that's why it's so important. You know, these devs probably looked at Nen Impact, they probably looked at 2xko, and they said, this doesn't feel comfortable on my hands. How can we offer our players an opportunity or a choice to give them both options? If we can make both viable and comfortable, we can make both sides happy. All it took was, it probably took them a little bit of brainstorming to come to the conclusion. Motion inputs can work while we have simple inputs, and this is how we'll make our simple inputs work. You know, and someone on simple inputs, they're not gonna, here's the thing, and you know, just real quick, someone on simple inputs is not gonna care about all the technical stuff. They're not gonna worry about all that. They're just gonna want to mash to have fun. That's it. That's why they're playing on simple. If they want to learn the game, they'll go to traditional. That's it. That's how it is. It should just be a segue. Thanks for watching. I'm really looking forward to the game. I really hope they don't mess this up. Let me know who you hope is in the game. Hopefully we get Ryu and Terry Bogard as DLC. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And tell me what you think. Bye!